Alright, so it's time to take a look at the Creeper. Ooh, creepy. And Shaggy, otherwise known as Shaggy Rogers. Which is weird to me that they put his last name, because I don't think they identified his last name for the longest time. I could be wrong about that. I don't know off the top of my head. But you know what? Part of me doesn't care, because I'm reserved myself to get the Scooby gang and hope that the monsters go to clearance. Unless it's the Green Ghost. I will get the Green Ghost. Love the Green Ghost. That's my favorite Scooby-Doo villain. But anyway, as you can see, Shaggy looks pretty good. I mean, he's not perfect. Again, Jada is doing a line that is cartoony proportions, which I think is smart on their part, because then they don't have to worry about proportion issues. They're supposed to be different. So yeah, Shaggy also comes with a, what I like to call a Zoinks head. These more open hands. A box of Scooby snacks, and there's actually, it looks like there's snacks in it. And probably one of the things that I'll worry about getting lost, a Scooby snack. Yay! Now, Mr. Creeper, that's an episode. I remember it, but I don't remember it very well. Of course, the best part is you have, of course, the unmasked head. And then you have, oh, his glasses come off, I just found out. Didn't know that. Okay. You have the mask that can be pulled off his head. Thing is, the glasses come off. Let me show you that. Or at least they did. Yeah, they'll come off. So, there you go. Be mindful of that. In addition, the Creeper has these kind of hands, as well as these hands. Okay. My impressions, of course, this is Jada, so everything's going to move relatively smooth. A little stiffness initially, which I have not moved Shaggy around that much. That is something we expect. They stand pretty well. They look pretty accurate to the source material. I don't like the $30 price point. That is my one hang-up. These look good. I think they should be $25. Jada, as of this recording, as far as I'm aware, have not given an actual official reason for the pricing. I know we're blaming tariffs, but, you know, again, if you don't actually come out and say it, it's hard to say. It could be something else entirely. I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and guess, because we don't know. And I suppose in some ways it's avoiding the conversation. In other ways, it's casting aspersions, because there is a company that doesn't get into Walmart and into the larger stores that is underselling this. So, you know, there's questions. I have questions. Initially we thought it was a license, then it was everything. And then we thought, well, okay, maybe there's something else going on. But we're not getting answers. So that is a problem in and of itself. Or as I like to say, zoinks. Now, I will say the rise across the board for Jada is limiting my purchasing. For one thing, Jada does seem to have an abundance of these figures. Now, Street Fighter I've never seen any Street Fighter go to deep discount. Unless I missed it. It may have happened and I missed it. Their Universal Monsters did. So there's that part. To me, though, I mean, as I said, I'm gonna grab the gang. I'm gonna leave the monsters alone. If the monsters go to clearance, I'll grab them. I grabbed this one when I thought, you know, it must be the license. I was giving Jada benefit of the doubt. Now that that's happened, and happened to Street Fighter 2, I kind of stepped back and said, no. I do not support this raising prices this way. Especially when you don't say why. I mean, you could just come out and say why. And, you know, you might get some guff for it, but you know what? At least you said something. At least you put up a reason. This is a big jump. It's a $5 jump. And these guys are getting a wide release. So, again, it affects my buying. If I think you're pulling something dishonest, it doesn't matter how much I love the property. I love Scooby-Doo. I'm excited for figures of Scooby-Doo. I know there's been figures done, but they've never been done like this. And this to me is fun. So I'm grabbing them, but to keep me on it, you gotta be a little bit more straightforward. And I don't mean you gotta share everything. You don't have to share your balance sheets. You don't have to share your whatever. But again, if that tiny company has managed to go from $32 to $27 in 3 years. That's a rough estimate on my part. I think it's been 3 years that the prices have been going down. By God, Jada, you can do it too. More accessories, more articulation. Is there reuse? Yeah, you know what? I was giving Jada some leeway because of that, because there's less reuse. Really, the only reuse they've ever really done is Ken and oh shit, I'm drawing a blank. Ryu and Ken, which is understandable. That one, I mean, they kind of look alike. This, however, you know, there is new molds for everything. Now, granted, on Street Fighter, they get it back with Player 2 versions. Again, reuse. I don't see how they're going to get it back with this. They're not going to get away with repaints of the Scooby Gang. Or maybe they will. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, yeah. Because Shaggy... Was it 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo that Shaggy wore a red shirt? So you could possibly do it with that. So maybe I shouldn't jump the gun on that. I don't see how you redo the monsters, but that's neither here nor there. Although you probably saw more green ghosts because there were 2 of them. Anyway, let me get Night Ops out of the way here. Love this figure. One of my favorite Steel Brigades right there. Still, I'm looking at, and plus I want to have something to compare it to so you guys knew how big these guys were. I mean, it's typical Jada. I mean, they're the size that they are. So, with that in mind, I'm just kind of like, you know, I was really excited for these when they first got announced. I'm still happy for them. Just compare it to a Marvel Legend here. I'm still happy for them, but at the same time, you know, the price rise and the lack of transparency have taken that excitement down a notch. So, still getting, because again, it's freaking Scooby-Doo, man. And, you know, I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan, and, you know, that's the other thing. as Magneto kills Shaggy, is everybody ought to realize that this is going to sell like gangbusters once it starts hitting regular retail. Because everybody, I know very few people who don't love Scooby-Doo. You know, and would at least buy the gang. I think the gang is going to probably be the main points on this, and then the monsters are going to linger because of the price point. And after that, what do? Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, I really hate my excitement that got sucked out because of this price hike. God, I like this a lot. And these look like they're going to be easy to get. Not seeing any pre-order sell out yet, so I would say Scooby's going to be the hardest, and I don't think it's going to be that hard. Really. You know, I don't see this being too difficult to get your hands on. As in typical Jada fashion, I don't think I've ever had a problem getting a hold of anything from Jada, if I wanted it. I keep going back and forth on Feilong, but, you know, and I can still find him at the regular price. So, there we are. And I think the only ones I ever had any troubles getting my hands on were that last bits, like the Invisible Man, from the Universal Monster set. So yeah, kind of wanted to do something a little creative with this, but I didn't do it. Maybe I will with Scooby, just because then I'll have Scooby too. Scooby 2. Oh, and yeah, I bet you they'll do a Scooby Dumb, probably some other stuff with Scooby. I mean, everybody says they can't reuse Scooby. Well, yeah, you could. I mean, give him a new head and call him Scooby Dumb, and I'd buy that. I really would. I would buy Scooby Dumb. Couldn't do Scooby D, but I would definitely grab a Scooby Dumb. Okay, so these are cool though. I mean, I still gotta say they're cool. It's tough to bring this type of Hanna-Barbera animation to life because that face, no matter what you do, is gonna look weird. That is a given. I think they've done great. Really have. It could be worse. I'll say it that way. I've seen worse. I don't think anything they would do would satisfy everybody though. I don't think they could do it. But hey, this is a pretty good set so far. Let's see how they do. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to touch on this week. Anyway, Scooby-Doo-Doo! Have fun, guys.